from high. It's a deep. It is out of here. 7:56. Bond stands alone.
Now Booker with Tucker on him. Throws it up for 8. Shot blocked by Antetokounmpo. What a block from Giannis.
17 seconds from Game 7 or from championship number 6. Jordan, open. Chicago with the lead.
Minute remaining.
And they're putting Curry in the pick and roll, trying to get him on Irving.
Irving and Curry, one-on-one. Irving puts it up. It's good. Kyrie Irving from downtown.
We're sending it in, Jerome. That's for damn sure.
Yes. What is up, everybody? Welcome to Taproom Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Jordan. Stacks on stacks on stacks, lads. Joined, as always, with my guy, Mr. Big Ballin' Ben Larson. Rocking the Indians hat after they lost today.
They're not the Indians anymore.
Guardians, my bad.
This is an Indians hat, though, so.
Dude, I was talking to Irv last night. I was like, man, the A's are going to win tomorrow, bro. Like, they're going to win. And I didn't bet it. And I'm sad because I'm a fucking pussy. But it's okay.
That's the smart thing to do, though. If you're not 100% confident on it, don't take those bets.
I was pretty confident.
Oh, well.
I was
pussy.
I was pretty fucking confident they were going to win. But
I was not, which is why I didn't put that bet in. So,
I mean, it's tough when a team's as bad as the A's, but it's like I was telling
there
Irv,
aren't going to be too many games where you have that.
Yeah, but I was telling Irv last night, like, bro, they're not going to win 162 games. Like, they're going to win some, and Blackburn's on the hill.
Yep.
You know, it's a good pitching matchup, etc. But nonetheless, stayed off, and, you know, it sucks. But had a good day on the MLB nonetheless. We are being brought to you by the Sharps app, SHARPZ. You could track your bets there. Become a better. Use the Sharps app. Use promo code JORD517. It's free to download, free to use. Sharps app, SHARPZ. Download it. Use it. Now. Go. Run there. Anyways, with all that being said, opening week of MLB, we're going to get to that. Also going to talk some NCAA, March Madness, as we had, Sweet 16, Elite 8, come down to it. Damn, my internet must be hella slow right now.
You're jumping all over the place, but it's a...
I mean, I feel like normal, but I see the frames, they're, like, dropping like crazy.
Yep. It is what it is. You actually sound, like, super fucking clear today. I was gonna make comment to that too, but
well, if anyone's having trouble with the stream and you can't watch it or it's hella choppy, the podcast will be up right after, so you can catch the podcast if you miss anything. I apologize. I have no idea what's going on, but I can't really do anything while I'm in the middle, or else it's gonna shut the stream off. So we'll keep it pushing. Like I said, if you miss any of it, download it on Apple Podcasts. You can subscribe, follow us. Everything we do live ends up on there, okay? Spotify, Google,
it's all there.
Amazon. So with that being said, Ben, let's talk NCAA first, since it's fresh on the mind, and then we'll get to MLB. So we had the Sweet 16, we had the Elite 8. We'll start with the East bracket. UConn faced who the fuck did they play? They played San Diego State.
Yep.
They were like minus 12.5. They closed.
Mollywalked.
Yeah, I thought it was a little short because San Diego State, they shot really well against Yale, like unbelievably, like the best they shot all year. And I was like, dude, there's no fucking way they're gonna do that again. And then obviously UConn's a fucking powerhouse, just so well coached with Dan Hurley, elite defensively with Donovan Clingan in the middle. Just a really fucking good team. And then they played. Illinois played Iowa State in the Sweet 16. That game I was kind of like back and forth on because I was like, Illinois' offense is really good. Terrence Shannon Jr. is playing like the best player in college. However, Iowa State is so good defensively. I thought they would like stymie Illinois' offense, similar to what UConn did. Right?
Yeah.
But they didn't. Illinois ended up winning that game pretty handily.
Yeah, it was only 3 points, 72-69.
Yeah, it ended up being closer, but I mean, like, Illinois led from beginning to end. Like, Iowa State never led the game. They were down by like 10 with like 5 minutes to play, ended up making a little run to make it a little bit closer, a little bit more reasonable, but they, I felt Illinois dominated the game. So then Illinois and UConn play each other. The line opened 9.5. My model had it as like basically a 7-point game, like a little less than 7, but we'll say 7. And so obviously I played Illinois, and it looked like it was a good bet in the first half. Like, I felt like Illinois probably should have been leading that game. They missed a lot of open shots, and then they had a few bad turnovers. And then the second half starts, Ben, and it was 30-0 run for UConn, dude. And it was just like, it was unbelievable, dude, the way that game the way it played out, because UConn, they were like, what, 3 of 13 or 3 of 17 from 3. Like, they didn't shoot the 3 ball well at all, and they won by 25.
Yeah.
I felt like Illinois missed a lot of open looks, but they also, I thought their game plan was a little fucking weird. They just kept trying to drive the ball at Klingon. Like, dude, he's 7'2", bro. Like, what are you guys doing?
Well, and I think we've got to look too is the way that UConn made those adjustments at halftime. Things weren't working for them. They went in, regrouped, adjusted, and came really dominated that second half. So I think that's something that we have to look for in the Final Four and, my opinion, the championship. So
UConn really adjusted anything.
I think they adjusted there.
I mean, their game. I mean, they didn't shoot the 3 ball well at all game, right? Mm-hmm. And then also on top of that, Illinois was getting a lot of open threes, and they just weren't knocking them down.
Yeah,
and that's a thing that UConn does consistently, is because UConn runs such good offense that even though they weren't knocking down threes, they were getting like wide open layups, wide open shots at the rim, right? And then they were putting so much pressure on Illinois to make shots that even these shots Illinois was getting that were good looks, they probably felt the pressure too, because it was first it's a 7-0 run, then it's a 9-0 run, then it was an 11-0 run, and it just keeps piling on, and Illinois keeps missing shots or keeps turning it over and throwing it out of bounds. And, UConn does this all the time, dude. They go on a run, and they put a ton of pressure on the team, and the team just can never fucking come back. They can't do it. And that's credit to UConn's defense. Their defense is very good, and their offense is very good, and they showed it. They were terrible from the 3-point line and still managed to win by 25.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But you see in the second half is that they went away from that 3. In the first half they had first half it was like 1 for 11 from the 3. And then you move to the second half and they were 2 for 6.
Yeah.
So, they've really adjusted their game, and they went down to the paint and got a ton of points in the paint. And that's where I'm seeing that adjustment of, okay, this 3 ball isn't working. Let's push low. Well, and that's what I think made the big difference there. And, Illinois stopping that. I don't know if I want to say stopping that 3-point kind of push from UConn, but they really adjusted to UConn really adjusted to get points down low, which is where they needed it.
The thing with UConn, though, is like you have to make shots against them.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And Illinois they couldn't do it.
They did not. Yeah.
And that's a second-ranked offense in the country, and they couldn't do it. So, obviously there's a lot of talk about, UConn repeating and can anyone challenge them? I'm one of the few minority people that I think Purdue is really good. Mm-hmm. People like they hate Zach Edey for some reason, and like they just want to believe that like Purdue's a shitty team and Matt Painter's not a good coach. Like I don't believe it, and I think the only team that can give UConn a run is Purdue. Like I think that's the only team that can go head to head with UConn, because they have a guy in Zach Edey that's just a mismatch nightmare, right? Mm-hmm. With all that being said, let's move to the West region real quick. North Carolina played Alabama in the first game in Los Angeles. North Carolina was 4.5-point favorites. Basically all week, they were 4.5-point favorites. A lot of questions about Alabama, whether they had the toughness to stop Armando Bacot, and whether they could make enough threes, because that's really Alabama's game. When they're making threes, they could basically compete with anybody. But I thought Jay Wright, who was on the broadcast for TNT, not the broadcast, but the studio analyst, I thought he made a great point. Obviously, Jay Wright knows what he's doing. He has 2 national championships. But he made a great point in that fact that, like, he was like, you know, North Carolina, they're a fast-paced team, right? But when you're playing a team like Alabama, who's like the fastest-paced team, like, you don't want to play at their level. And, like, North Carolina played into their hand, especially with Armando Bacot, because you could see Bacot kind of got gassed. And that's what you have to do against Alabama, is, like, you have to kill them inside, because they don't have a ton of front court depth. They don't have a ton of size. And rather than doing that, North Carolina kind of played at Alabama's pace, and it led into Alabama's hands. Alabama ends up winning the game, right? Yep. And then the other game, we had Arizona versus Clemson in the Sweet 16. And Arizona finally, like, came back down to earth a little bit, shooting the ball. Caleb Love and Keelan Boswell were not good in that game. When those two aren't good in the game, Arizona is always bad.
Yep.
So Clemson was able to hang on. So we had Alabama versus Clemson. It was a rematch of a game earlier in the season in which Clemson went into Tuscaloosa and won the game. I think it was like 89-76 and won the game in Tuscaloosa. And Alabama was 3.5-point favorites. You know, full transparency, I like Clemson in this game because Clemson throughout the tournament was shutting teams down from 3. Teams were shooting like 14. I think there were like 11 of 44 or something from 3-point going into the game. And at one point, Alabama was like 1 for 13 from 3 in the game. And then they just went on a fucking barrage, dude. And it was basically game over. And Bama won.
Yeah, I mean, first half, second half were completely different. You know, it was a low scoring game in the first half, and then the second half it ramped up. I mean, first half was 67 points, and you have 104 in the second half. So, you know, I think both teams just really let their guard down in the second half, and, you know, obviously went for that more offensive, you know, approach, and it made for a hell of a game. I watched this one and had a ton of fun watching this. I think it was at a bar.
Nice.
At Rock Bottom, the local watering hole. So, yeah, definitely a fun one to watch. You know, both these teams are good, and it was unfortunate to see, you know, Clemson's kind of underdog prowess end. But, you know, again, I, as a neutral fan, as a average fan, probably less than average fan, this was a fun one to watch. This is why I watch March Madness.
Yeah, I mean, when we talk entirety of March Madness this year, like, there hasn't been a lot of good games. This was a good game.
Yeah.
You know, Clemson ended up being on the wrong side. Full transparency, I was on Clemson, right? Which I think I said earlier, but yeah, man, it's like the one thing about Alabama is they have a really great head coach in Nate Oates, and when you give Nate Oates time to prepare, he finds weaknesses, and that's why, you know, Alabama really struggled defensively throughout the entire season. However, like, they've been really good in this tournament. You know what I mean? Because Nate Oates is a hell of a fucking basketball coach. So I'm excited for Alabama versus UConn. The line's 11.5. This is only the 5th time in NCAA Final Four history that a team is favored by more than 10 points. The last 4 times this has happened, the underdog has covered all 4 games, won outright once. Only one time. I don't know if I have the balls to play Alabama, especially after what happened to me with Illinois. Like, fading UConn is just not a good idea.
Yeah.
So, in my eyes, it's either UConn or nothing. If you don't want to play UConn, just don't play it at all.
I was seeing some places too. It was like 12.5.
Yeah, it's probably going to go up because everybody's going to bet UConn, especially after the Illinois. I mean, everybody was on UConn in the last game too. It's just,
Yeah.
it's just one of those teams, and credit to them, man. They've been doing their thing. All right, let's move over to the South region. First game we had Houston versus Duke. This was a really unfortunate game. Jamal Shead gets hurt, and Houston really never had a chance after that. Duke ends up winning. It was a fucking ugly game, dude. Like, it was not a fun game to watch unless you love defense and rebounding and stuff. It was a good game. It was just ugly. Duke ends up winning, and then we had NC State Marquette. Talk about an ugly game. Marquette 3 of 28 from 3, dude. And I'm talking like
horrible.
Some of these shots were wide open too. Like, this game was just so atrocious, and it just continues. Every team NC State plays in this tournament just shoots poorly, dude.
Yep.
Like, every time, dude, teams are shooting under 20% from 3 against them, and it's not like they're playing good 3-point defense, dude.
Yep.
They're just missing shots. And then on the flip side, NC State, credit to them, they're making the shots they have to make to win these games. So, we got NC State versus Purdue now. Quick recap of the Midwest. We had Purdue versus Zaga. Purdue really just controlled that game. Just Zach Edey just too much for Zaga's front court. And then we had Tennessee point, and then Creighton came back, went on like a 19-6 run. Made it a close game. They almost backdoor covered if you had the 3.5, but just couldn't get there. Tennessee wins, covers, and then we had Tennessee-Purdue today. Another great game.
Yep.
And, if Tennessee had front court size and depth, I would have given them a better opportunity because, Dalton Connect, you saw it today, he was hot. He scored 31 points, and it still wasn't enough because Zach Edey scored 40. You know what I mean? They just had no answer for him inside, bro. Like, he's 7'4", bro. Like, you can't defend him with 6'8" dudes, bro. I'm sorry. Like, you just can't. And in the first half, Tennessee was very reluctant to double team him because Purdue's a 40% 3-point shooting team, right? And then they were missing a ton of threes. So in the second half, Rick Barnes adjusted, started double teaming him because he's like, well, Purdue's not knocking down shots. And it still didn't fucking matter, dude. Even though Purdue wasn't shooting well, I think how many threes did they make, Ben? They were like 4 of 15, I think, from 3. I mean, they shot terrible. They probably had their worst shooting game of the season.
Second half?
The whole game.
Or full game.
Yeah, for the whole game. I mean, they did not hit the 3-ball well today. And that's a good 3-point shooting team.
3 for 15.
3 for 15, dude.
Yep, 20%.
And they still win the game by 6.
Yeah.
That's how good Zach Edey was.
Let's see. Let's see. First half, they shot. They only made 1 3. 1 for 1 out of 9.
In the second half, they were 2 of 6.
Yep. Yeah.
And one of them was a huge one.
What's that?
One of them was a huge one by Lance Jones. He pushed the lead to 6 with like under 1:30 left. Just a massive 3-point shot.
Yeah, and it was a close game the whole way out.
Yeah,
2 to 4 points all throughout the game.
I mean, the crazy thing though is like if Purdue shoots like let's say even 30% from 3, 35%, they win that game by like 15 to 20 points.
Yep.
And that's the thing with a 1-game playoff tournament is like you could have one bad game, dude, and it costs you your whole season.
Yep.
One bad game. And we've seen that against NC State. Everybody that plays NC State has a bad game for some reason, and NC State ends up winning.
Yeah, Purdue just had their bad game, though. So
Purdue had a bad game and still managed to win.
Yeah. So this could be that, monstrous. I mean, the line's sitting at 9 right now.
Yeah. I think
I
like
Purdue -9.
Yeah, I like Purdue because, dude, at some point, the regression for NC State's D cannot continue to just shoot poorly against them, dude. Like, it just can't continue to happen. I think, people are like, oh, DJ Burns is going to give Zach Edey a lot of problems. No, he's not. He is not. I'm telling you all that right now. Plus, Purdue is going to put DJ Burns in the pick and roll all fucking game, and Braden Smith is one of the best pick and roll point guards in the country. And it's going to be Ben, the game's going to be very similar to Marquette. The only difference is Marquette missed a ton of fucking open threes. I don't think Purdue's going to miss those. I mean, they could, but I wouldn't count on them, going 3 for 28 from 3.
Yeah.
Because DJ Burns going to play in drop coverage. They're going to put him in pick and roll. So Braden Smith is either going to have an open mid-range shot or someone's going to clinch down from the weak side or from the strong side, and they're going to be an open three-point shooter on either side. So I like Purdue. I think Purdue smashes them. I mean, I thought all along heading into this tournament, I thought Auburn would have had a very good chance against UConn in that bracket, but, Auburn tripped up in their first game. Didn't have a chance to see that. But aside from that, I mean, after Auburn went out, I kind of always just assumed it was going to be Purdue versus UConn in the championship. I didn't see any two teams giving them trouble.
So we got to wait till Friday for these games, huh?
Saturday.
Friday.
Saturday.
And the finals on Monday?
On Monday night.
Interesting. Okay.
Prime time. Just like the the college football championship, Ben.
What was it on Monday? Okay.
Yep. So, with that being said, you just said, do you like Purdue -9? You like UConn? I mean, we'll obviously recap this on Sunday and talk about the national championship on the following Monday, but you agree we're heading towards Purdue versus UConn?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a chalk final there.
Yep. I think they're the two best teams, dude.
I have 2 units on Purdue. We'll see. We'll see if anything changes for UConn. I don't have a bet on that game. 11. I see it 11.5 now. It was 12.5 earlier, but I don't. That's a lot of points.
It is.
It should still hit, but.
And the one thing that
another beer or two, and I'll have I'll put some money on it.
the one thing I will say that like worries me about taking UConn is like you're giving Nate Oates a whole week to prepare, and like you saw what he did with a whole week to prepare for North Carolina, and like nobody gave Alabama a chance against North Carolina. Everyone's like, oh, North Carolina's gonna run him out the fucking gym, dude.
Yeah,
nah, dude, you don't give Nate Oates a week to prepare, and like he does a really good job of it. Now, UConn's a different monster. That's what does scare me. You know what I mean? Like, because Dan Hurley's a really fucking good coach, too. So, and he could take away the strength of, Mark Sears. Like, they have the ability to defend that. Like, he's not going to be able to attack the rim as easily because Donovan Clingan is going to be in there. So, we'll see, man. We'll see. But with the history of the double-digit dogs in the Final Four, it does give me hesitance to play UConn.
That history. I mean, if we were talking about a larger number than 4, I think that would be a little bit more of a.
Well, yeah, that's how rare. But that's how rare it is that you have a double-digit dog in this setting. Only 4 times, dude. In the Final Four. Yeah. The most recent one was UCLA in 2021 against Gonzaga. And they only lost that game by 1 point.
Oh, wow. Yep. And same thing. You got a week to prepare.
And on top of that, I was saying, UCLA has no chance against this Gonzaga team. Gonzaga's going to blow them out the whole fucking water.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, I think UConn wins, but I just don't think. I don't know if they win by 12, which is where we're at right now.
I mean, UConn's winning every game by an average of like 29 points in this tournament.
That's true. Illinois was a good team.
Yeah. Second best offense in the country. Couldn't fucking make a shot. That's what I'm saying, Ben. It's like, I want to play Bama, dude. I do, but it's like, I can't fade UConn anymore, bro. I just can't do it.
Yeah, 39 against Stenson, 28 against Northwestern. 25
against Illinois. They beat San Diego State by 23. 30. Right? Was it 30?
30, yeah. Oh no, 23 was Northwestern.
Yeah.
So Yeah, they just steamroll.
Yep.
I'll probably just put a unit on it.
All right, let's move over to some Major League Baseball. So opening weekend, Ben, because normally there's like that don't, but I'm not really surprised by anything that happened this weekend because, credit to myself, I did a lot of preparation work this year, like way more than I have in previous years. And like if I were to say like anything surprised me, it's been the Yankees 4-0 start. But I also said on our West preview show, I was like, dude, I don't think the Astros are going to be anywhere near as good as they were the past few years.
Yeah, I didn't expect the Astros to get swept though.
Yeah, I mean, it is a 4-game sweep is shocking. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a surprise there for me. And my shocks are more of the teams that got swept. Seeing the Mets lose 3 straight.
Well, we knew the Mets were going to suck.
Yeah, we knew the Mets were going to suck, but I didn't expect them to go, to lose 3 straight to Milwaukee. Those were definitely close games, but especially with the way that, there was so much animosity in that series between McNeil and
Hoskins.
Yeah. Which that was a dirty fucking slide.
That's baseball, man. What are we doing, bro?
It was still a dirty slide. You cannot.
Hard.
What?
Dude, Ben, 20 years ago, that's a normal slide.
He went spikes up. He went spikes up past the bat. That's a dirty slide.
That's a
slide. I have no problem with what McNeil did. I mean, to be honest, I'm surprised he didn't throw a punch. But
probably smart he didn't.
Yeah, definitely. So I mean, I think it was, I think the getting thrown behind was deserved. I don't think the pitcher should have gotten tossed the following game. Like that's what happens when you fucking slide cleats up.
Yeah.
So, I didn't think anybody should have gotten tossed. I still do think that was a dirty slide, but I'm surprised that Milwaukee came out and won all 3. But that is what it is there. I'm surprised Pittsburgh won all 3 against Miami.
That Pittsburgh team is going to be a good team, bro.
Oh, agreed. Pittsburgh is great.
Remember who has the future on them to win the NL Central.
I don't think I took that one. I should have probably, but Pittsburgh's now. I want to see if I did.
But I will say this about the Pittsburgh Marlins matchup is because, during our East podcast, I said I love the under on the Marlins because I thought they were going to be a lot worse than last year. Yeah. And it's definitely looking like that's the case.
Yeah.
So I don't want to it's obviously first weekend of the season. I'm not going to start a parade and be like, oh, I got the fucking Pirates because last year they were in first place and O'Neal Cruz gets hurt and then they fucking just spiral out of control. So you never know what can happen. But I want to touch on the Brewers real quick before we move on. I text Irv on Saturday and I was like, during the Brewers game, and I was like, man, I actually really like this Brewers team, bro. I think they're going to be a lot better than we all thought they were going to be. I think their pitching is their weakness.
Oh, absolutely.
But I actually think their lineup's pretty fucking good, dude.
Their lineup is really good. They've got a couple young kids that are playing well.
Yeah, Churio looks really good.
Yep. I mean, he was a huge prospect coming into this year, and
yeah, we knew
he got a couple games last year. But I think this roster is a quality roster. It's the pitching. I mean, losing Corbin is huge.
Yep. Because aside from Peralta, they don't really have a legit starter. And then on top of that, Peralta gets hurt. I mean, what the fuck are they going to do with their starting rotation, dude?
Yeah.
That's my biggest concern about the Brewers. But I do think their lineup's a lot better than I actually thought when we were looking at it on paper and stuff. I actually am higher on the Brewers than I was. I should be higher on the Brewers than I was in preseason.
Yeah, no, I mean, granted, it was a single series against the Mets,
Yeah.
so I don't think we jumped to crazy conclusions there. Um, but you know, they've got some good young kids that are, you know, swinging the bat well. Um, they have some kids that can come up and, you know, eventually swing the bat well. But you know,
I also like their
I mean, I
mix
think
of
they're gonna
like,
be a 500 team though.
I don't know, dude.
I
It's
still
tough
think they're
because
gonna
they're
be
pitching, dude.
Yeah, exactly. They're going to have to put up runs every single
But their
game.
bullpen is really good. I know they
Yeah,
almost
but their
blew that
bullpen's
game on
gonna get
Saturday, but
taxed, man.
yeah, they probably will. But like they do have like look when Devin Williams is healthy, they have like 4 legitimate guys. So like you could shorten a game to like 5 innings
Yeah,
if need be. You know what I
but
mean?
again, that's gonna end of the season. Their arms are gonna get tired.
And
If you're shortening a lot of if you're shortening, you know, 4 out of your 5 starters to 5 innings.
yeah, but I mean, like you gotta assume too, like they're gonna have a couple games a week where they're gonna get blown out because they have like a shitty starter, and like that's when you just let that starter fucking bro, whatever, dude. Like we'll take the L today, like just eat up some innings so we don't gotta use we don't gotta use our bullpen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I feel like that's who Colin Ray. I feel like that's why he's in their starting rotation for. But I mean, he won today.
Yeah.
You know, like, and obviously, it's the Mets, and at some point they're gonna trade. They should trade Pete Alonso too.
Yeah.
What did you think of? Let's talk about the Giants. Let's talk about the NL West. What did you think of the Giants and Padres series? I thought it went pretty according to plan, except your guy Webb still can't get no run support. But
Exactly. Yep. That's super unfortunate. I hope that things change there. I'm actually kind of positive coming out of this series because we didn't have Snell pitch.
yeah.
So I think that adds a whole nother depth of, that's another game that we can win in the series.
Agreed.
Going 2-2, putting up 25 runs throughout the series. Yeah, we allowed 28, but we put up runs.
Yeah.
And that's something that was very difficult for the Giants last year.
You got to kind of put it in context too, because they gave up 14 today. Was it 12 or 14?
I think it was 14.
Yeah, so I mean, you give up 28 runs in the series, but half of them came in one game.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So I wouldn't put a ton into that. When I text Irv last night and I said when I seen Dalton Jeffries as a listed starter, I was
13 today. Yeah.
When I seen Dalton Jeffries as a listed starter, I was like, bro, we gotta take the Padres tomorrow. And of course I did. I forgot to play.
Away. Yeah, I stayed away from that game. So
I mean, what's the plan with Blake Snell though? Because he's not even like you guys play the Dodgers tomorrow, and you don't even have a listed starter for tomorrow.
He's supposed to start on Wednesday.
Okay.
So is
he with the team?
He arrived with the team game 3 of this series.
Okay.
So played some simulation games in Arizona,
right,
and then moved over to the team in San Diego, yesterday. So, it doesn't surprise me, late signing. I was hoping he was in better condition when he, over the off season and spring training, but when you aren't getting
game
live
reps,
batting and game ready, I can see that it's going to take a little bit of time. So from my understanding, he's going to be going on Wednesday, which is game 3 against LA.
Okay.
To be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if we don't pitch him in the LA series and wait one more series to get him some time. And
so who's pitching tomorrow?
But I don't know. Might be Webb.
No, because he pitched Thursday.
Sorry, Wynn.
Okay, so it is Wynn. Because I thought Wynn was going to be the 5th starter. That's why I was like really confused as to why Jeffries is starting.
Yeah, Keaton Wynn versus Paxton, James Paxton.
Okay.
So it'll be interesting to see how in LA.
Yeah.
But this LA team, nothing surprised me from this series that they just finished here.
The Dodgers?
Yeah. Today, I didn't watch the game today, but you were mentioning that they're going to have some difficulties against lefties, and that's definitely good to hear coming from an opponent's perspective. But they were able to put up points, and they were able to score runs.
They put up runs against the bullpen.
Yeah,
and you
the
also,
Cardinals.
Well, you also have to take into context the Cardinals and Dodgers played a extra innings game yesterday, so both teams' bullpens were pretty taxed coming into this game, but especially the Cardinals, because the Cardinals game before their bullpen was used a lot. But the Cardinals really blew that fucking game, dude. They should have won. Yeah. I do have some concerns about the Dodgers pitching. Gavin Stone, he looked good the first time through the order, but he was throwing. I think he threw like 50. I don't know. I'm guessing off the top of my head. I got to look at the stats, but I'm pretty sure he threw like 50% changeups. Mm-hmm. And you could tell the second time through the lineup, the Cardinals started like catching on to it, and that's when they like got to him and they put up runs. But also so today the back end of their lineup did well, but the few other games it was like the top of their lineup is doing all the damage and the back of their lineup is really fucking struggling, dude.
Yes. 100%. And I think that's gonna be a problem.
And it's a problem for most teams. Like but when you have fucking $200 million in deferred salary committed to 3 guys.
Yeah.
Well,
and Shohei didn't look great. He didn't look bad, but he didn't look great.
I mean, he probably has like a lot of pressure plus all the fucking gambling shit going on. So there's probably a lot going on in his head and shit. So
yeah.
But I mean, like last night he had bases loaded to win the game and it fucking popped out.
Yep. Yeah. Mookie looks great again.
Yep.
10 RBIs, 4 home runs, 11 hits.
Yep.
Yeah, granted, they're on what, game 6 now?
They're on game 6.
They got the 2 extra games in San Diego, so it's gonna be a little bit inflated there. But he's looking great. He's still batting 500. He's hitting the ball hard. And yeah, Freddie Freeman looks good.
But the thing with the Dodgers is like you know what you're getting out of those top 3 guys.
Yeah.
It's what you get after that. That's what really fucking matters, dude.
Yep.
Because I mean it was the same thing when they had Trey Turner, right? It was like, okay, Trey, Mookie, and Freddie are gonna hit. What are you getting from Will Smith? What are you getting from Max Muncy? What are you getting from Outman? What are you getting from Lux? What are you getting from Teoscar Hernandez? What are you getting from these other dudes? Like, that's what is going to matter for the Dodgers. Mm-hmm. Because at the end of the day, and we saw this last year in the playoffs, Mookie and Freddie weren't good in the playoffs. And when they weren't good, the Dodgers fucking sucked. And if that happens again come postseason, the same fucking thing is going to happen, Ben. The same exact thing. I don't care who the fuck they have on that team. If those top 3 guys aren't producing, that team is fucked.
Well, if those top 3 guys aren't producing and their pitching is struggling, which again is the same. They did address pitching a little bit this year. That's not great.
Well, I think Bobby Miller is really good. He's going to be really good. I think Gavin Stone has like a lot of potential. I mean, he looked really good in the first 3 innings today.
Yeah.
He just has to figure out how to like mix the fastball and the changeup. Like he can't just stay so locked in on that changeup.
Yeah.
Because the Cardinals, I mean, these are major league hitters, bro. They're gonna figure it out.
Yeah. Yeah. No, with Gavin Stone, with Yarborough.
The other funny thing too today, Ben, on the broadcast was they had Kike Hernandez mic'd up playing third base.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, Yarborough's not their number. Who's their number 5 starter?
Right now they have
Michael Grove.
Yeah, they're probably going bullpen game for the 5th starter. But Ben, they had Kike mic'd up today.
Paxton, that's who it is.
Yeah, Paxton. They had Kike mic'd up today, Ben, and he had pitch com in his hat. You know what I mean? You could hear it, dude, on the broadcast. Change
So
up,
funny.
change up, change up, change
That's
up.
so funny.
Every fucking pitch was change up.
Yeah.
Even fucking Eduardo Perez is like, "Is that your pitch com going off?" And
It's all funny.
fucking loved it, dude.
Yeah.
Change up. That was the first time I've ever heard it, dude. I never knew what it sounded like.
Yeah.
Change up.
Yeah. Neither have I.
Fastball in.
Yeah. I mean, Glass now looks good.
Glasnow's gonna be
Yamamoto
good.
came back and pitched a good 5 innings that second game.
I'll say this about Yamamoto, Ben, because I watched that whole game last night.
Uh-huh.
I am concerned that when teams see him more than once, they're gonna figure him out, because the Padres saw him in spring training, right? And then they knocked him around in that start in Korea. When the Cardinals were against the Cardinals, I mean, dude, Ben, none of these pitches were like anywhere near the fucking zone, dude. And
Yeah.
Cardinals are like swinging at him. I'm like, dude, what the fuck are they swinging at, bro? Like,
Gotcha.
every pitch is like nowhere like it's not even looking like it's gonna be a strike, dude. And they're fucking swinging at everything, dude. So I am curious, because then I was like, okay, well, maybe that's why the Padres knocked him around, because the Padres saw him in spring training.
Yeah.
Cardinals did not, because the Cardinals spring training is in Tampa.
Yeah.
Right. So they'd never seen Yamamoto before. So I am curious when teams see him twice, if it's going to make a huge difference. I'm curious about that.
Yeah. Yeah, especially when you're in a division, when you see them, each team 13 times.
13 times.
You're gonna get 2 to 3 starts, and then see him again in the playoffs.
Yep, and we'll find out, dude. We will find out, because no, we're not gonna see him against the Giants, right?
No, I don't believe so.
He's gonna miss the
See if
Giants.
there's a projected starter for Tuesday.
Well, no, because he's pitching every 6 days. So if he pitched Saturday, he's gonna pitch Friday. So whoever they face on Friday.
Glass now is going Tuesday versus Webb. And then it says Bobby Miller versus Harrison.
Yeah.
Thursday they don't play, so Friday, yeah.
So he's gonna play Friday. Who do they play Friday?
Friday they play. Wow, Giants play Padres again on Friday. They play the Cubs.
So they face the Cubs in spring training. I don't know if he faced the Cubs in spring training, but the Giants definitely face the Cubs in spring training.
Yep.
So that'll be
Yamamoto versus Hendricks.
Oh God.
Yep.
Fucking Hendricks is terrible now.
Yep.
That'll be interesting, because I do think that, I mean, I don't know. It's a theory. So I want to see if my theory is true about teams that see him twice compared to teams that don't see him at all, because I'm watching that Cardinals game last night, and I'm just like, bro, what the fuck are these guys swinging at, dude? It's obviously easier for me to say when I'm not fucking, standing at the plate with a bat in my hand, but I'm watching these pitches that they're like at the dude's fucking ankle, and they fucking break down fucking out of shoes. What are you swinging at, dude?
Yeah.
What are we doing? We'll see, though. We'll see what happens. Who else? Oh, man, God damn, dude. Ben, our Nationals, man. Bullpen choked again today, bro. Like,
yeah,
same shit from last year, man. We repeating it.
Yep.
But they've looked good. They've looked good. Aside from that blown game, they've looked good. And I like them tomorrow. Mackenzie Gore going against the Pirates. I like the Nats tomorrow. Home opener.
Against Marco Gonzalez.
I think this Nats team is going to be good, Ben.
I do too. I mean, I don't expect them to get off to a fucking crazy hot start. I mean, we have them at 56.5, right?
66.
66.5. So, that's just a third of their games. They can definitely do that. They're on pace now at 1 and 2. So,
hey, at least we don't have the Royals over 77.5.
Bobby Witt looked good today.
Hey, Royals look good today.
Bobby Witt's looked good all series. So,
yeah, but the pitching of the Royals looked really good today.
Yep.
But they got to be better. And, Royce Lewis went down after hitting a fucking home run.
Mhm.
Shout out Royce Lewis. 1 for 1 with a home run this year. Should be. I got him MVP plus, what do I got him at?
How long is he expected to be out?
Probably only like a couple weeks. But the fact that, I'm talking about it on our pod, I'm like, Royce Lewis got to stay healthy. And he hits a home run and hurts it. He strains it or sprains his quad or fucking pulls his hammy or whatever the fuck he does, trotting the bases on a home run, dude. It's just not a good look, bro.
Yep. All right, Detroit Tigers over 81.5.
Yep, and to win the AL
80 and a
Central,
half.
3-0.
Yep.
3-0 to start the year. All one run wins.
Yep. Hey. I have Detroit Tigers to win the division too.
Yep.
Looking good.
Love that. Love that.
Cleveland's gonna be there, run for the money though.
I mean, we'll see, dude. Cleveland face a shitty fucking A's team.
That's true.
So
That's very true.
I am shocked though that the Guardians. I am shocked at how much they did score though, Ben. I was not expecting that in those first 2 games, so that is kind of different for them. So I am excited to see that. The Mariners pitching looks as phenomenal as we thought it was going to, and their bats look as bad as we thought they were going to.
They need to score runs.
They have to figure out how to score runs, man. They gotta fucking figure it out, dude.
Yeah.
Even J-Rod's not hitting.
Yeah. He had a clutch hit last night.
Yeah, but he's only hitting 188 right now.
Oh, yikes.
I think he only has like 2 hits on the year, so they gotta figure it out, man. They have to figure it out.
Yep.
Orioles look good, but
their offense looks outstanding. Holy shit.
But again, I'm very concerned about that rotation after Grayson and Corbin.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, but that's something we talked about. That's something that's going to need to be addressed. All they have to do is make the playoffs.
Yeah, but they got to bend that. Bradish is not coming back this year.
Yeah.
And it's hard to replicate that kind of production from anybody else in your system. So, they have to go make a trade. They have to get somebody. They have to do something. Because you cannot expect, especially with the way the Yankees looked in that first series, you can't expect to win this division with Grayson Rodriguez and Corbin Burns as your horses with nothing behind them. Dean Kramer is going to eat innings, dude. I'm not worried about that. But he's going to be like a 4 or 5 ERA guy.
Yeah.
Tyler Wells isn't going to eat innings because he doesn't go distance, and he's better out the bullpen.
Yeah.
And John Means made a AAA start last night. Ben, he went 1 inning and gave up like 7 runs.
Oof.
I don't even know when he's going to be ready.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the fuck this team's gonna do, bro. Like outside of Grayson and Corbin, and I'll say Dean, but Dean is like should be your 5th starter if you're.
Yeah. Well, they're hoping that they put up on average 8 runs every single game.
I mean, that's what they're gonna have to do outside of those first 2 guys.
Yep.
It's gonna be I don't know, dude. I am a little concerned, man.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think we have the Yankees playing out of their minds like they have.
No, and Rodon's gonna get hurt at some point.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they got a Houston team that wasn't prepared and wasn't ready.
And Houston blew like every single. I think they had a lead in every one of those games, and their bullpen blew it.
Yep.
And usually that's a strength of the Astros is their bullpen. I
mean, they're gonna put up, more than 11 runs in a series, a 4-game series.
Yeah.
So I just think Houston isn't quite, their wheels are spinning. I don't think they're going to be this bad throughout the year. I think the Yankees just got them at a good point. Who do the Yankees face next?
Who is it?
Yankees have.
Oh, I have it right here. Arizona. Woo! Woo-hoo-hoo!
Yeah, I think we're gonna see some regression here.
We'll see where they're at. We'll see where both these teams are because the Diamondbacks got the fucking Rockies too.
Yeah.
But Brandon Pfaadt looked good. Merrill Kelly looked good. Zach Gallen looked good. Offense looks good.
The Rockies look better than I expected too, though.
Yeah. I mean, the thing with the Rockies is, like, I think they'll be able to score, especially at home.
Yeah.
It's just that pitching is just fucking terrible, dude. When you're throwing, like, Kyle Freeland, Austin Gomber, like, you're just throwing fucking shitty-ass dudes out there every day.
Yep. See, tomorrow they've got Dakota Hudson on the hill.
The Diamondbacks?
No, Rockies.
At the Cubbies?
Yep.
Cubs can finally look good.
Yep.
I don't think the Cubs are going to be that good either.
No, you got Shota on the hill, though.
We'll see. We'll see what he looks like, man.
Yep.
We'll see what he looks like.
I definitely lean Cubs there. I don't know if we
it's probably going to get rained out.
Yeah.
I think that game and the White Sox game gets rained out.
Yep.
Unfortunately. Because I do like the Braves tomorrow.
Yep.
All right. Should we get some best bets for tomorrow?
Yeah.
All right, what you like?
I think we gotta go. Fuck, man. Baseball's kind of tough for tomorrow. I think we got to go Red Sox run line. A's got that win today. I just don't think they go back to back. And you've got Joe Boyle on the hill, who does have a. Let's see how many. He had a 1.69 ERA last year, but only like 15 innings?
Yeah, he's normally a relief pitcher.
Yeah, so I don't think he'd go. He's going to go distance there. So I think Boston probably takes this one handily. I think you got to go. I like your bet, but I'm not going to say it's over the Rockies run line there too. Unfortunately, probably gets rained out. And then I'd probably go O's over Kansas City. You've got Kramer going against Waka. Waka's going to take... I just don't... I'll probably stay away from that game, to be honest.
Yeah, outside of betting on Burns and Grayson Rodriguez, I'd probably stay away from the Orioles right now.
Maybe the over.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna put my bet in right now for Purdue -9. I'm taking that at 2 units too.
Nice. I got 3 bets I like tomorrow. I love the Nats -113 at home against Pirates. Were hot. This Nats team is better. Nats coming off a blown save against the Reds. They very easily should be 2-1, but they got Mackenzie Gore on the mound tomorrow, so I like the Nats there. I like the Braves -1.5. It's -130, but I actually think there's an edge here. I think it should be like -150 at -1.5 because Chris Flexen's on the mound for the White Sox. However, this game is probably not going to be played. It's probably going to get rained out. And then my third bet I got for tomorrow, I got the LSU Lady Tigers +2 against Iowa. Rematch of last year's national championship. I just think LSU is too physical for Iowa. Iowa, they don't really got dogs. They want to play like a finesse game and shit, and LSU got dogs. So give me the LSU Lady Tigers +2. That's my third best bet.
I like it. I'm gonna go dive deeper into pitchers for tomorrow too. So I'll probably have another bet or two for you to post on the
Twitter machine,
on the Twitter page.
Yes. We did have technical difficulties once again, so if you weren't able to catch the entire stream or wouldn't fucking understand it, I apologize. We'll be better on Tuesday, but you can listen to the podcast in its entirety on Apple Podcasts, Google, Amazon, wherever you get your podcast fix. It'll be up immediately after we get out of here. Also, You can follow us on Instagram at Taproom Sports Podcast. Follow us on Twitter at Taproom_sports. Follow myself at Jordan Rules TSP on Twitter. I post bets on there all the time. And we'll be back Tuesday. We'll be breaking down some more Major League Baseball for the Wednesday slate, which usually has some day games. So tune in then.
All right, I got another one.
What's the other one?
First 5, Texas, Tampa Bay under 4.5.
All right, you heard it. Texas, Tampa under 4.5. First 5.
Dane Dunning and Ryan Pepio going.
Nice.
That's a good one.
For Mr. Big Ball and Ben Larson, I'm Jordan Stacks on Stacks Last. We'll catch y'all later. Have a blessed evening. We out. Peace.
Later.